Welcome back to DotaPit season number 2 here on twitch.tv/DotaPit, brought to you by High Ground TV. I am What Is Hip, and with me for today's match, Navi US versus Sneaky NYX Assassins, is F4L as well as MopPax from the Standard Deviants. Bring you some statistics. What's going on, buddy?
Not much.
5 seconds remaining.
Took a little while to get the game started.
Had a little bit of a chaotic lobby.
Navi US
Some stand-ins and then not stand-ins.
NA Flame, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
But teams are assembled here. Sneaky NYX Assassins versus Navi US. Should be a pretty decent match, I hope. On Dota 2 Lounge, Navi US favored 60% to 40%. And I think if I had to favor one of these teams, yeah, I think that would be about right. Navi US, a little bit of an edge here. I think they have gotten the better end of this little roster switch going on, if we're being honest. So.
They did win the last time they played against each other in the summit. Sna did.
Sna won?
Radiant team pick.
But I think it was just an outdraft in that particular game. And Navi US do get their hands on Dire Lycan, and it's not to be underestimated, even with the changes. I think the hero is actually ban-worthy when you're on Radiant, just because, you know, on Dire you still have access to Roshan, and they haven't changed anything to Hal, so.
Yeah, Hal is still extremely powerful, and they've got the Chikiro as well, so Navi US going to be looking to knock down some early towers, and Necrophos picked up here for the Sneaky NYX Assassins, and he's really re-entered the meta. Well, I guess entered the meta. I can't really remember a time when people were playing Necrophos, but these new changes, Dota 1, these new changes to the ways Ultimate works, I think, have been extremely beneficial for pro scene. It's also extremely awful to play against in pubs. So,
yeah. Well, the 30-second respawn time is actually a huge deal. Let's say you kill, I mean, if you kill like 10 people in the game during Reaper Scythe, you don't even have to get the kill, but it just has to die during Reaper Scythe, then that's 300 seconds additional death timers for the enemy team for the entire game. And then if they buy back during that death timer, because it's part of their death timer, it gets added to the next one.
One's even longer.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, taking a quick look at our featured matchup here, it's Fluff and Stuff going up against Way2. And, well, the one thing I do want to notice here is that Fog likes to frag people quite a bit. He enjoys walking around the map, getting kills. And they actually match up pretty similarly here. So last time they have played in DotaPit, Wisp was the hero for Fluff. They did lose, and taking a quick look at the standings here, Sna in a bit of a rough spot, 1-5 and only 1 point. Navi US 2-0 at the moment, so they're doing okay. Still a lot of games to be played here in the second month of DotaPit as we start to head towards the playoffs. And the top of Group B is Denial Esports, probably a little bit surprising for a lot of people.
Yeah, and Navi US, they played Tinker, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and they 2-0 them. So that was, I think, surprising to most people. I think Tinker are in a bit of a slump right now. And I think Navi US played well as well. So
well, we're in the second pick phase. Venge and Skywrath banned out, and DP as well as the Void.
Wow, I'm surprised that, well, so DP, Void, and Skywrath all made it through the first phase. It's actually quite surprising.
Well, you got the entry of the Ogre Magi, and he is just so top tier now, it seems like.
10 seconds remaining.
And also, Navi US, go ahead and first ban the Spirit Breaker. We didn't really talk about that. So a little bit of a target ban. I know that the Sna, they like picking it for IX Mike.
Radiant team.
Yeah,
and
that is an IX Mike hero for sure.
Yeah, they have a couple strats centered around Spirit Breaker. And I saw them do a Spirit Breaker, Necrophos, Sniper, and Silencer, and it was actually kind of interesting the way they played it. So they would have the Necrophos went Blink Dagon, and then they had, I think he went Blink Dagon, and then they had Sniper assassinate someone, and then he would Blink ult Dagon, and he would die, and then as that was happening, the Spirit Breaker would charge in, and they would global. So it'd be a 4v5, and then there'd be global, and it was like, it looked really obnoxious to play against.
That sounds painful.
If they could survive the laning phase, so it looks like Navi US just not even wanting to play against any of their Spirit Breaker like strategies.
Yeah, keeping those shenanigans out of it, and well, the Batrider is here, and Ancient Apparition as well for Navi US, and they grabbed the Wraith King, and a lot of, I think, pretty comfortable heroes for Navi US as far as you know, the individual players.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if this is either fogged on Jakiro and the Ancient Apparition, that might be
Navi
a little bit
US's
unusual,
turn to
but
ban.
I think overall pretty
It's
comfortable
probably a
heroes for Navi
support
US.
Wraith King.
Yeah, that's true.
We almost always just see core Jakiros.
Yeah, that's true. That I mean, that's way too also plays a ton of the Wraith King. He likes
10
wandering in,
seconds remaining.
turning on Blade Mail, and hoping everyone dies.
And
5
SNA
seconds
are going to go with the
remaining.
Bane, a hero that they like a lot for fluff and stuff. Actually, I'm
Reserve
not
time.
sure. I mean, I guess Bane is okay against Lycan. You can grip him, but there's actually a lot of things that can just cancel the grip this game.
Yeah, quite a few abilities. And last ban here,
Radiant
it's going to be the
team
Dragon
ban.
Knight for Navi US. And closing it out for Sneaky NYX Assassins, we'll see where they want to go. Depending on the laning here, how do you think this is going to be laned? I mean, it seems like Ancient Apparition Wraith King could be the start of an aggressive tri-lane, but then
10
they have to
seconds
deal with how they lane
remaining.
the Lycan and the Jakiro. Is Jakiro
5
a Wraith
seconds
King? Is that a
remaining.
real aggressive tri-lane?
It could be, I think, just
Reserve
because you have the howl damage plus the chilling touch.
Yeah,
So if they're able to stun someone at level 1, I think they just might die.
yeah, I agree.
But I think Sneaky NYX Assassins could play really passive in that lane and just pull and never get stunned. And even if they're not farming, they're gonna get the experience. And 1v1s against Batrider,
Navi US's
I mean, depending on what their
turn
last
to
pick is, it can either be really good or really bad.
Yeah, Earthshaker banned out last year against Navi US, and I think that's a well-placed ban, to be honest. I mean, Korok and Fogged, as well as Way2, all extremely comfortable on that hero. So,
Yeah, but I guess Earthshaker could be kind of annoying just because Bane's effectiveness would be diminished, Batrider
10
maybe a little
seconds
bit.
remaining.
But I'm not sure that Earthshaker really fits into
5
Navios' draft
seconds remaining.
particularly well, just because he doesn't really benefit from Howl
Reserve
in
time.
a solo lane or as a support, and
10 seconds remaining.
I think they just respect banning it, to be perfectly honest.
yeah, I mean, that's what it
5
seems like. There's just a
seconds
couple really
remaining.
good players with that hero, and they just ban out. And the NYX Assassin's the last pick
Radiant team
here for
pick.
Navi US.
Yeah, so it looks like, trying to figure out what the lanes are going to be.
Yeah, these
Maybe
are-
a mid Nyx Assassin or a safe lane Nyx Assassin against Batrider. I think you can actually get away with that.
Yeah, NYX,
Think-
there's a good interaction, obviously, there with Firefly for in the mid parts of the game. Very easy to stop him from pulling anyone away.
10 seconds
And I think it's
remaining.
late game insurance against Necrophos because you're
5
going to be able to burn
seconds
about
remaining.
25% of his mana with mana burn, as it does burn
Reserve
based on
time.
intelligence, and it's on a 4-second cooldown, so always good against these int heroes that don't really want to buy a BKB. And I think Necrophos is going to end up having to get a BKB this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And continuing along here, waiting for the last pick for the Sneaky NYX Assassins here for DotaPit season number 2, and we're really moving along here. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this game actually turns out. It took a while for us to get into the game, but I'm excited. I'm excited. Whose lineup do you favor here? I mean, Navi US, I think they've got some really interesting lanes.
So far, I like Navi US's draft a little better. I think Nyx Assassin is actually a really good answer to Necrophos. I actually haven't seen anyone try it before. But, I mean, we've seen Nyx Assassin against Medusa, and that's been very effective. They're going to go with the Chaos Knight last pick. And, we haven't been seeing much of this hero. I think, Chaos Knight will
I
be
don't really
good
this.
against the Lycan.
Yeah.
But not very good against Jakiro. Like, I think it just depends on how these team fights work, because if Jakiro is able to cast all his spells onto the illusions, I mean, the Ice Path, obviously, in AoE. My open mic's not on.
Me either.
Lord.
Oh boy. Oh lordy.
Prepare for
Wow,
battle.
we're both awful. What now? It's coordinated.
Fired.
That we both turned it on, and actually my settings got reset, so we're gonna pop over to this matchup here one more time. I just need to turn on that camera grip. There we go. Smooth drag. What a beautiful function that is.
Excellent.
back in the game here. And, well, we'll see how the lanes do turn out. But some introductions for Navi US. It's going to be Snaking. He's going to be on that Jakiro. Fog going to be on the Ancient Apparition. Already an early ward going down for them. It's going to be Korok on the NYX Assassin in the mid lane. Ush, the not officially a recent addition, but has been playing with Navi US quite a bit. Not playing any longer, obviously, with the sneaky NYX Assassins. He is going to be on the Lycan, and then we've got Leader of Tears, or Way 2. He's wandering through the jungle. He's going to be on that Wraith King.
Yep. And then on the side of sneaky NYX Assassins, we have NYX Mike playing the offlane Bat Rider. In the mid lane, we're going to have TC playing the Necrophos. And supporting in the bot lane, we're going to have Fluff and Stuff playing the Bane. With him is going to be Whitebeard on the Ogre, Magi, and playing the CK is going to be Brex.
Oh, that's a very nice D-word for them early. They're able to grab that one, yeah. And Mott Pack's going to be joining us from the standard Deviants, St. Dev's stats. And looking forward to this game. Looks like it is going to just be a defensive tri-lane for Navi US. The off-lane, Jakiro, that's going to be Snaking, sort of the EG style of play. Brax, he's sitting on a haste rune here, and it's going to be pretty powerful early here. If this Jakiro overextends, they are going to have a very strong pair of stuns, but they might be hard-pressed to kill him. Jakiro does have a decent amount of HP.
Yeah, I think if he gets stunned here, he might just fall. Yeah, it looks like they are going to use the Ignite.
And there's taking some damage, Snaking. Just add about half HP, drops down the Liquid Fire, buys the TP scroll before he dies. Does not seem like he thinks he's going to get out of here, but Brax diving deep below the tower. And they're not going to be able to grab that kill. And that's a lot of damage Brax has taken. He's going to have to use Clarity already. But that Ignite is going to be extremely annoying for Snaking to deal with.
And actually, that was pretty good for Snaking, because now this lane is pushing. There's 2 range creeps, so he's going to end up getting a bunch of experience. He doesn't have a salve, as he did start with the boots build, so he's not going to be able to regen up quite as much as he would like, but he's going to get some decent experience out of this.
Yep, and continuing forward, checking out the mid lane. It's going to be TC on the Necro going up against the sneaky NYX Assassin, the NYX Assassin. And this seems like it's not a great lane for Korok. I think it gets a little bit better once he gets a couple levels here, but it's really hard for him to harass the Necrophos out of lane because of Sadis. And I think if TC gets a decent amount of blast hits, this lane should just be pretty easy for him.
Yeah. And then you also have to consider the Heartstopper aura, which is at level 1 always going to be... It basically ruins his base regen. Yeah.
Nice against heroes like that. Against Ogre, so extremely annoying ability. And once it gets maxed out, it is a fairly large amount of damage as well.
Yeah.
What kind of build do you normally favor on mid lane Razor? Or, sorry, mid lane Necrophos?
I think you just get 1 point in Heartstopper aura, and then you max your other skills.
Yep. I think that's the normal build. Some people do like maxing Heartstopper, but the Death Pulse is nice.
It's just like... The problem with doing that is that in team fights, like in the early team fights, you really need the Sadist to be maxed so that when you get a kill, you get all that regen.
Yeah. Bring it all back around. And TC is doing just fine in this mid lane. Korok struggling a little bit. Does have the bottle, so is recovering. And rotation here going to move in, but that is that's not going to work. There's a ward here. Fluff and Stuff is here. And no problem for them.
Yeah, and Fluff just supporting NYX Mike in the offlane, trying to make sure that he gets his early levels.
He's going to go down in the mid lane as there is a first blood on the hero. They dive far behind the tower, so trading kills here early, but Whitebeard the one actually took the first blood, and oh my god, Korok 40 HP.
Huh, I'm actually surprised that TC died to that. They didn't know that Wraith King was near the mid lane.
Yeah. Whitebeard goes down to a neutral. Looks like that was intentional.
Yeah.
Bought out.
Gonna do the efficient death to neutrals.
Korok, well, Korok reflects. At least he can reflect the death pulse. That's something I didn't think
That
about.
is true.
It's a very slow projectile, very easy to dodge, and if that gets maxed out, that's actually, it just negates the fact that it happened in the first place. So Fog caught up here by his sleep. Ush farming away, 20 last hits, taking some decent damage, but does not appear to be any issues. And bottom lane, they're going to try to kill Snaking. Again, they body block him, and he is going to go down. Brax is taking a lot of damage in this lane, but also has an Orb of Venom. That's an interesting item for him. go to just kite down
Yeah.
Jakiro.
I'm actually surprised that the Orb of Venom just isn't on the Ogre.
On Ogre, yeah.
Yeah. Just because I think it's a little better on Ogre, and then it's kind of just a wasted item slot on CK.
Yep.
But it's fine. They are going to get 2 kills in this bottom lane onto the Jakiro, and Snaking having a bit of a rough time. It is sometimes rough in these lanes with lots of stuns as a Jakiro, if they have the damage to kill you.
Ignite is a lot of damage, and then obviously the stun and the CK stun. And then they can pull you back again even if you try to run away, so very annoying lane for Snaking. Is going to have to be careful here, and small rotation is coming in for Fluff and stuff.
He might
Snaking looks pretty dead.
fall again. Yeah, looks like he is actually going to die again.
Seems pretty unavoidable here. Fluff and stuff is going to block him. Oh, he even gets pulled back by Brax. Not even going to have to use any abilities on Fluff and stuff. And easy kill on a Snaking.
Yeah. And, I mean, this is sort of the danger of this, this hero in the off lane, is that you can't really retreat to the jungle. And it looks like they're going to make it go on TC. He gets stunned in the mid lane, but Way 2's not going to make it go yet. Yeah, but he can't really retreat into the jungle quite yet. I think he needs maybe level 3 Liquid Fire.
Or he just hightails it in there. And oh, TC mid lane gonna take some damage here. There's the impale as well. TP is coming in. Is it gonna be enough to save TC? Oh, very nice. Nightmare keeps him alive for the moment. Looks like he is gonna live through it, and his Korok is actually gonna die to this death pulse. Down he goes.
Wow.
Some nice regen there for TC after getting very low.
Is under attack.
Yeah, really well played by them. And good rotation by Fluff and stuff to come in and give him the sleep. Might not have been necessary, but...
Yeah.
And...
Well, quick pause here, and
so if we look at the CS in the game, Ush the leader with 38. Not too surprising, as there hasn't been really any action top. CK has been involved in a couple kills, so that's why he's a little bit behind. In the mid lane, TC's ahead by about 10 CS, so he's doing quite well in the mid lane. Pretty much to be expected, as it is a range versus melee matchup. And Necro just a really annoying hero to deal with 1v1.
yeah, absolutely extremely obnoxious to deal with, and we are gonna get back underway here. No, we're not. 14 ping, but 100% packet loss. That sounds like US.
That sounds
East
like
to
not
me.
14 ping.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the beauty of this new instability. I don't know. It seems like servers are just always broken lately. You know?
Yeah, it never used to be like that either.
Yeah. It's just they're just always broken, and
I just remember like a year ago, there was never any lag or packet loss or anything. Yeah, well, I blame Dota's getting too big. Too many people, not enough servers.
Volvo, please give servers.
Please buy more servers.
Oh man. And hopefully we'll get back underway here soon enough.
And it does look like there is a single stack for IX Mech in this jungle. Only one.
Yep.
He's sitting at about 500 gold, so his Blink Dagger probably not going to be the quickest.
This is
They
not going to be like a
probably-
7-minute blink dagger unless he suddenly gets several kills here.
We probably need to be stacking a bit more for him,
Mm-hmm.
just so that he can get his early blink.
Yep. And, Brax, where do you go with items as the Chaos
With
Knight?
items?
If you're, I mean, you're don't have a Wisp to back you up.
So Armlet is always good. I mean, it's obviously you get Shreds, and then you need drums for the mana, but you don't really want drums.
Yeah.
So you probably get Treads, drums, a wand, and Armlet, most likely. Or, I think you just go Armlet. I've also seen Sage and Yasha, but
Yeah.
that hasn't really yielded very good results.
I could see
think-
an argument for it since there's no Wisp to give him a little bit of extra mobility, but I agree. It's been lackluster in my experience.
Although the one issue with going Armlet against AA is that
It doesn't work.
it doesn't work.
Yeah. That is certainly an issue, and all these people talking about the weather. It is extremely cold in the Northeast, and it's it's getting to be that time of year, you know, where it gets a little cold. Or you're from somewhere warm, right?
Yeah, Arizona.
That's warm. I was in Arizona last week.
Like Brax is in Arizona and saying it's cold. Fucking clown.
I don't know, man. When I was in Arizona last week and it was like 80 degrees and perfect during the day, it was great.
It's
I was
80
very
right now.
jealous. And then I came back to the U.S. or I came back to Boston rather, and there was snow on the ground. I was like,
Came to the U.S.
whatever, man. Came back to Boston and there's just snow on the
We're
ground.
not in
I'm
the
crying.
U.S. We're in Mexico.
Arizona, you know, it just feels like a generic West Coast place. I don't know.
It really is.
I was in Phoenix. It was okay.
Phoenix is kind of an ugly city, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I wasn't in Phoenix, but near Phoenix.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, still.
Yeah, it was pretty boring. You know, lots of cacti and.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Snaking just stunned a creep here, so he's gonna have to go back to base. Korok comes in. He does have the Vendetta up. He might try to kill TC, but I think he probably needs some assistance here. It's pretty tough for in comes Way 2. There's the impale. It's gonna hit. Way 2 just barely has enough mana here after getting bottled up by Korok, the mana burn. And that's gonna bring down TC, and Ush is gonna grab himself a Hand of Midas here. That's pretty good timing considering also has boots.
Pretty annoying. They need a sentry in this mid lane, and TC needs to play a bit more careful just because that's already happened one time where he got impaled into the stun coming out from Wraith King. And he just can't survive if both of these stuns are coming out.
Yep. That's
This looked like Korok did go for the Urn of Shadows, but I don't think I've ever seen this on a NYX before.
That's indicative of probably more aggressive play. He'll be roaming around the map a little bit more, trying to actively participate in kills, and it does fit the hero's playstyle, but a lot of times we see like a fast Blank Dagger or even a Dagon is pretty reasonable on NYX, so anything to just help you burst down people. Urn, I guess, sort of serves that role in a little bit less impactful capacity.
And it does look like they are going to get this tower.
Radiant's top tower
Ush with
has
the
fallen.
last hit. And have they gotten any damage? No damage on the bottom tower for Sneaky NYX Assassins, as Brax does pick up his treads. And I imagine he also has a bottle, but I imagine we'll be seeing a drums next from him.
It seems kind of mandatory. I mean, you look at his mana pool, and it's like, that is not a lot, even if he's on int treads, and the drums definitely assist.
I mean,
with that.
they did make it a little better with they made the ult cost a bit less mana, I believe. But so it's 125 at level 1, and then you've got 40 on your stun and 70 on your pull.
Can you even do everything if you have? Looks like it'd be close.
No, you can't.
That is unfortunate.
Oh, no, you can. That's right. I was looking at the first number.
Fog is gonna get caught here. I think they're gonna kill him. Seems pretty unlikely he's gonna get out of this one. 3-second stun. Yeah, Fog is mega dead. He goes down, and Ush is retreated to the jungle here. Vladimir's offering is gonna be finished up here in just a little bit, so once that's done, look for him to maybe move towards the Roche pit. They can win a fight and then just wander in there. Dire still do have fairly convenient access, but since this change, it is a little bit easier for Radiant to win them as well. But I think it's still, you know, you get a couple kills fairly easy for Lycan to just pop in there.
And Way 2 has gotten his level 6 at 9 minutes, so pretty good timing for him. Although Ogre is also level 6, and that's a very important level for this Ogre.
Yeah, that new multicast is pretty
ridiculous.
Pretty nice, yeah. The moment they see Korok moving in, and he's gonna know that the jig is up. And
that's a really important sentry ward.
I mean, that's pretty crucial. He would have been mega dead. Yeah. No way he's getting out of that one. Good stuff here, and Ush. I think Ush he's been playing pretty well with this team. Have you watched him play with this roster much?
I've only seen him play one game. That was against Sna actually, and they lost.
Oh, Brax.
Yeah, he's gonna be fine.
He's fine. No stuns here to lock him down. And speaking of level 6, Fog's actually getting pretty close. Almost has his own level 6. Fluff and Stuff stuck in the jungle. He is caught here. And that's another easy kill for Navi US. And they have just been getting a couple pickoffs here. I mean, now that they've sort of stemmed the bleeding on Snaking dying in the bottom lane, they're wandering around here with Korok. They have Way 2 assisting him, and it's just pretty easy kills for them. So.
Yep. They also have the Howl if they need a bit of extra damage, and...
Oh, Ush maybe is dead here. 4-second stun. That is very unfortunate. He's going to go down.
Oh, and they get it with the Reaper Sight. That's actually a really huge deal. He's now dead for an entire minute. And that hurts.
They're gathering up in the mid lane. Are there any sentries to spot out the NYX here? Does not look like it. But Ush was farming extremely well. 80 last hits here at 10 minutes. Has his Vlad's finished up. And Boots in the Midas as well. So he is farming extremely well.
IX Mike almost at his Blink Dagger, has the bottle up, and he's going to have that quite soon. I imagine we'll see him pick up the smoke and look for a kill.
They're going to move in here on the mid lane. Fluff, he does get caught by a stun. There's the long range infill. That's enough to bring down Fluff and stuff. In comes the TP. Whitebeard going to toss out, get the multicast there on Fire Blast and Snaking. He's going to go down once again, and he cannot just figure out how to stay alive this game. 1-4. Tough game.
Yeah, I think they're okay with trading those kills on the side of Sneaky NYX Assassins. They only lose the Bane. They're able to kill the core THD. It was a 4v5, so... And Fog was actually farming the top lane.
And Fog now has that level 6, as you saw come in during that initial blast there. And that's obviously the very important level for the Ancient Apparition. That ultimate is extremely powerful, and he's just going to look to farm these side lanes, shoot those ultis into fights, and I mean, for the most part, he won't really come to these fights unless they know it's going to be a big 5-on-5 engagement and they can benefit from the chilling touch. But he would much rather just be farming out these side lanes, trying to get up Aghanims or Force Staff as quickly as possible.
And I mean, this is like one of the real benefits to having the Lycan on your team, especially on Dire, is that once you get, it's usually about level 5.
Snake egg. Dead again. Gets caught by the Scythe. Mike, though, might be in some trouble. There's the impale. An extra stun as well. Vendetta coming in. There's the Ignite. Throwing it across the river is Whitebeard, and they're going to march up here. It does not look like Navi US can do too much to stop this. Might need Ush's assistance, but he's just heading out.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Like I was saying, one of the really good benefits of having Lycan is that once he gets about level 5, sometimes people wait till level 7, but usually at level 5, you can start farming the jungle, which we saw, and then you give the lane over to the Ancient Apparition, and then he's able to get his levels up much quicker than in a normal circumstance.
And they smoke up. They're going to look to get a kill here. Ush, maybe the target, does have the shapeshift up, but he gets caught by a 4-second stun. He's going to be dead. It looks like he might make it up.
And Whitebeard is level 8, so doing really well for himself on this support ogre. Does have the max Fire Blast, 2 levels of Ignite, and a point in Bloodlust. Looks like they might be able to just pop the ults.
Yeah, he's going to try to keep that from popping, and no, just barely. Not going to be able to. The Ignite going to make sure he goes down there, and unfortunately they're not going to be able to get anything out of that. And that level 1 timer is extremely long.
No.
So
it's actually worth... Yeah, it's worth using a bunch of abilities just to take his ult off, because it is such a long cooldown at level 1.
A little over 4 minutes, 260 seconds, so that's considerable. Yule's is the option here for TC.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's an interesting item choice. I mean, I guess it helps isolate the Lycan in the fights. Also, can help them stop against the NYX from engaging on them. What do you think of that item choice?
I suppose it can also disjoint stuns. Like, if he gets the Vendetta hit, he can just Yules, or if he sees the Wraith King stun, he can Yules it.
Interesting item choice.
Besides that, not a real common item is he usually Necrophos just tend to buy a bunch of tank items.
Yeah, like Mac or Atos. Korok moving in on the bottom lane. Looks like he cannot line up the infill there. Finally, they do catch him with the stun, and he is going to go down very easily there. Even use the AA ulti as well. Parax gets exploded. Blink Dagger was picked up here for Korok, so normal mobility item helped him get in position for those stuns, and sometimes that even ends up being a little mini Ravage depending on how well you can line it up.
Yeah, it looks like we're probably going to see a tower trade here. I don't think either team's going to be able to get in position to defend these towers, but Navi US might get the better end of this exchange, as they are going to be pushing the mid lane at the same time.
They're just looking to put some pressure on the map here, take down a A couple of tier 1s there. They get one in the bottom lane. They're going to try to get middle as well, which is now in deny
It's
range.
deniable.
So let's see if the Wolf can get this one. How good is Ush's
And they
micro?
have Glyph again.
Are fortified.
Well, Korok goes in. There's the Glyph. He gets caught. This could be a bad situation for him. He's going to get punished brutally for that. But on the bright side, the tower does go down.
Does not
Lycan
get
does
denied.
get the last hit.
Yeah. So that was
Dire's
actually
top
quite
tower
important.
Has fallen.
Korok made a little bit of a error because they had used the Glyph, but then the bottom tier 1 died.
Yeah,
so
so
the
they
Glyph
rehabbed the
refreshed.
Radiant's bottom
And I
tower
don't think
is
he
under
considered
attack.
that when he went in, because he had the double damage, and he blinked in, and then it got glyphed. And
Yeah, I'm sure he was like, oh my god, that patch changed as soon as he did that. Very frustrating for him.
Sometimes it takes a while to get used to these changes, especially when you're so used to something.
Yeah, that's.
and then,
I mean, that's a pretty major change. Like, all right, they use Glyph, we can go in now, and then it's like, oh my god, they have another Glyph. Fog's sitting in the jungle here. He wants to toss in the ulti if there is an
Dire's
engagement.
top tower is under
But a
attack.
lot of heroes moving in through the jungle. They actually smoke to help reposition for this one. This will be a 4v4 engagement. The Batrider could very quickly make it a 4v3 though, and oh, they get the fire blast. It's going to be on Korok. He is going to go down here. Ulti is going to come in there and catches on 3, but that sentry again proving to be very important, and the Wolves going to peck down here on the supports, but they're a bit too tanky.
This ogre is actually getting really big. If you look at net worth,
he's just been walking around getting kills.
I mean, Navi US almost have 3 supports this game, because Snake King's really not having the impact you'd want from your offlaner. I mean, he hasn't bought any wards this game, so he is getting fairly close to that Yule Scepter, but, you know, struggling mightily to find farm, and he has put a little bit of pressure on towers, but I'm not sure that they've been using this THD pick up to maybe as well as they would have liked to, but
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think they're not getting the value out of it that they're hoping, but he is going to be going for the Yules next, which will help him definitely disengage against the Batrider. Also lines up the Ice Path extremely well, so maybe he'll
it's
be a bit
really strong against
Wait,
Batrider.
it's 15 seconds for his ulti. Come back up. Does not want to die before that happens. They're going to move forward here on Korok. There's the Yules. And Nightmare, that Whitebeard up in the air. He does have the ulti on him. He's going to go down. There is a grip onto Wake2, and he is 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Is he going to get the ulti off? Yes, he is. Just at the last second. Snake King going to go down, though, and now Wake2 maybe a bit stuck here. Fog drops down a nice Vortex, slows them down. And actually, max Vortex this game, Fogged. Oh boy, Way2 might be dead again. 3 seconds stun. There's the Reaper's Scythe, and that comes in. He's dead for basically ever. I mean, over a minute, 18 minutes. So long.
Surprisingly enough, we're not seeing Ush go for the standard Book 3 build on his Lycan, instead opting for a faster BKB.
Yeah, she already
Which
has.
is a little surprising to me, considering there's no book counters.
Yeah, and I mean, the other argument you can make is that there's a Fiend script already. There's the lasso already. A little bit of an engagement here in the mid lane. Ulti did go out. Korok gonna try to make it out of here. Not enough mana for the Vendetta, but looks like he is just gonna go down. Oh, he actually already uses the Vendetta. Sticks up, uses it. Bluff gonna die as well. And this is a mess in the mid lane. Snake King, he's gonna die. The multicast. Double kill for IX Mike, and now Hush is coming in the side. Can he actually do anything here? Is the question. He's going to turn on the shapeshift, wants to smack Whitebeard. There's a Fire Blast available, but is that going to be enough? There's the BKB usage. Now he needs to. Is he going to get more than that? He wants to kill Brax as well, who does get body blocked by the illusions. Ulti coming out for Fogged and doesn't even need it. Double kill for Ush.
Dire's top
Dot
tower
Walmart.
is under attack.
Well, BKB certainly paying off in that particular situation. But, yeah, I mean, I suppose BKB prevents him from getting Reaper Scythed and killed by it, but they do have the Fiend script, the lasso, so it's not going to be very useful in that. And usually, when you're against these ults that disable your hero, you can just buy a book and
Yeah, and the book can do the work for you.
yeah.
Ush is going to continue farming here. We'll see if that is the next item for him. That would not surprise me much at all. So
It could be related to how well Snaking is doing in this game, because I think had Snaking been having a better game, he may have opted for the book. Just because they would have more pushing presence with both the Jakiro and the Lycan, but at this point in time, since Snake King is struggling, maybe he thinks he just has to go for the carry Lycan build.
Korok is Vendetta. He is safe for the moment. There is no detection on these two heroes. And, There is on Whitebeard though, so see if
Sentry is
they
dropped.
definitely know he's
They
in the
did
vicinity
spot
now.
him.
And Korok has to be careful here. They dropped down another sentry. That's a well-placed sentry right there. Getting vision into the woods and in the lane. Now Ush is joined in. Vendetta is worn off, and they're just going to continue farming the lane here. Oh, smoke coming in though. Snaking drops down the ice path, completely whiffs. Does have the Yules for setup, but not able to use that. There's one stun on Whitebeard. He gets dual breath as well. Push him up in the air. Korok comes in, gets the impale. Manabird coming in. Fog gonna catch Fluff and stuff with the ulti. Whitebeard gets a multicast, but he looks extremely dead as he is just stuck in place. Gonna get right click down here by Ush, who is on a killing spree.
Dire's bottom
He's so
tower is under
tanky.
attack.
Yeah, he has a lot of HP.
I mean, he just survived
Wait, who's
for...
there?
Oh, Snaking's gonna go down.
Snaking.
Again.
Oh,
What
boy.
is that?
And Brax is fine. Snaking,
I mean,
snaking appears to be tilting.
I'm not sure what that was.
He blew the ice path without using the Yules, completely missed. And then TP's down bottom and dies.
Because I think... Did he TP bottom?
TP
so
bottom,
he-
ice path, dropped down the macro pyre, and then died.
I'm not sure why he decided to TP into 4 illusions.
Maybe he was hoping that the macro pyre would kill him, but it didn't. So he died.
And Brax does pick up his own BKB. It's like,
TC taking some damage in the mid lane, avoiding it. Just barely, though.
so TC does have his Blink Dagger, his Yule Scepter, so he does have a lot of mobility on this Necrophos right now. They can use the Blink Yules to find pickoffs. It's sort of a pseudo-disable. It does cancel Blink Daggers, so pretty good in that regard. And he is working on his Aghanim Scepter. Probably the best item on Necro in terms of how it functions in the late game. Just because if you find a key pickoff, most likely this game probably on the Lycan, then you can just win the game off the back of a well-timed kill with Reaper's Scythe.
And Way2 has his own Blink Dagger. All the supports in this game are pretty farmed. Snaking really the only one who's under-farmed, and he is brought back here. Lasso going to pull him back. They get a nice ulti there by Fog. He has been on target with these. Vortex going to go down. That's not going to catch IX Mike. He is going to have to pop up the Firefly, head into the jungle here, and they're going to have to be careful. Roche, or the little Rocheling courier running away as well. Looks like they're not going to get anything out of this, and that's 4 heroes roaming down into the jungle, and oh boy, Ush, he may be in some trouble here. Does have the BKB available there. They chain the stuns together, and he gets scythed
Oh
down.
my god. 90 seconds.
That is actual forever. That's ridiculous.
Dire's middle
He's
tower
going for the
is
AC
under
next.
attack.
So he's really just going for the full carry. Like,
And that's the problem when you are against these heroes and you can't get your BKB off, then I'm just not sure. I mean, the Fire Blast is pretty much an instant stun. It's not completely instant because there is like a small cast time, but the grip instant, you know, the lasso fairly instant. You have to have very good reactions to deal with lasso, and I don't know, I think they can catch him out with these stuns before he's able to use his BKB, so...
yeah, I mean, that
Dire's top
seems like it. That was a
tower is
perfect
under
example
attack.
of what could very easily continue
He
to happen.
definitely... They need to have people behind him at this point. Just so that they can counter-initiate. If they're able to either
Oh,
cancel
boy.
the blink...
TC is nags.
Yeah.
That is... Well, now we can't buy back either, so that's a big item. I mean, it clears out pushes extremely well. I mean, just killing the Lycan with it, killing
Dire's
the Wraith
bottom
King with it
tower
could
is
be
under
decent. I mean,
attack.
there's a lot of good options here. They do get the lasso, the Ice Path is here. Mike's still gonna pull him back. Brax darts forward, and they're fighting in the back as well. Way2 still has the ulti available. Down goes Korok to the Chaos Knight. Whitebeard, he's stuck. There's Reality Rip. Ray Snaking close to him, who is about to go down. 47 HP. Whitebeard gets the multicast onto Fog. There's the Reaper's Sight. That's going to bring him down. And this is a huge problem for Na'Vi West, as they're going to lose all 5 heroes. They're not going to get anything out of it. They get 5-man white.
Dire's bottom tower
There's no
is
way
under
Ush makes it
attack.
out of this. Well, he does have the BKB. He's going to try to fight back. Maybe he can bring down Ush, or the Brax rather, and he does, but what a disaster fight that was.
Dire's bottom tower
Ush, the
is
only
under
one
attack.
who lives through it.
Yeah, Sneaky Nyx Assassins didn't even have their Bane in that engagement. Vayne was pushing the top lane, getting some experience, and he's up to his level 11, working on his own BKB. And I mean, if Fluff is able to
Dire's
farm this
bottom tower is
BKB,
under attack.
I think Navi
Dire's
US are in a lot of
structures
trouble.
are fortified.
I would definitely agree with that one. Brock needs to be careful here. Looks like he's
Dire's
gonna go
bottom
there.
tower.
They
has
get the tower
fallen.
back off.
Yeah. I thought that fight might have gone a little better for Navi US, considering that they did
Dire's
catch
top
IX
tower
Mike
is
in the
under
ice
attack.
path, but
This is, I mean, they don't really have any great clear.
honestly,
the
they
Chaos
have
Knight.
no damage when Lycan's not alive.
Yeah, and they have no way to really clear out the illusions by Chaos Knight. You know, you just they have the ulti
Yeah.
from Fogged, and Macro Pyre if he like wanders into it, but
And Liquid Fire. I mean, they
I
have
guess
like
Liquid Fire's
decent
okay, yeah.
tools.
They don't have like an epicenter or an
Yeah.
Earthshaker or anything like that to really clear them out.
Liquid Fire will decrease the attack speed of all the illusions, so they're not going to be doing as much damage. But
Man, Snake King is second lowest net worth in the game. This is not going well for him.
yeah,
AC is done for Ush, so he's able to put out even more damage here. They're going to move forward onto TC. There's the shapeshift for Ush. He's going to be running forward. There's the Howl. Are they going to be able to get TC here? It looks like they are going to be able to. The Wolves clean him out. Brax moves forward on Fog. He's going to have to be careful, though, as there is a lot of support here. The Blink Dagger's going to be up in just a second. He has to pop the BKB. Multicasted. Brought back there. It's the Fire Blast onto Ush. Ignite gets tossed out as well, and that is going to stop that Urn charge, but good pick off there for Navi US. That might give them some opportunity in the next fight. They're going to go for Roshan. That's a good choice as well.
yep. And they should be able to get this fairly uncontested unless TC decides to buy back, and they're just going to kill it way too fast anyways. I expect to see way too sort of transition into a semi-carry at this point.
Dire's top tower is under
He has a lot of
attack.
fun. Well, have to be careful here. He is going to catch him. He flanks up onto the hill. They use that interaction with the Carapace and the Firefly to stop him. They get a nice kill
Yes.
for themselves.
He's sitting on the Firefly.
Or way too. Not going to be able to
Way
blink
two?
down here for a little bit. There's a gem on the ground now.
Do they know that there's a gem there?
Oh
They don't know there's
my
a gem there.
God.
Way too?
Way too. You should look at your hero occasionally. Oh,
Maybe he
boy.
was buying items or looking
Yeah,
at
or
something.
looking at something
but
else. Ush. Whoa. Okay. That was pretty lucky. Ush almost gets a nice pick off there in Brax, but ends up being the neutral in the end.
Boots of Travel. That's kind of an interesting pick or choice for this game. I guess it's gonna provide him with a lot more split push, so
Yep. And do you think now, I mean, is it still worth it to go for something like a Necrobook at this point, or does he go for just
No.
like full-on carry with like, I don't know, a Destinator or something?
Abyssal Blade,
Abyssal Blade,
Desolator.
Regeneration.
So do you think he should just
One of those
continue on
items.
this right-click path?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can't go Necro, not as your first main item. I just know it's not efficient at that point because it's gonna die too fast. Oh, apparently Brax had 1 HP when the neutral creep killed him. It's pretty crazy.
That's Ush will be very sad to find that one out. And, they're gonna continue moving through the jungle here. Navi US slowly taking over map control here. It seems like as they are just pushing NYX into their own side of the map, just getting constant pickoffs here. Korok, a big part of that one with this great initiation between the Vendetta and the Blink Dagger. There is a Sentry Ward down. Now Ush is just going to run forward here, and they can't really stop to do anything about this. Otherwise, the whole team will be coming in. Ush does pop off the BKB very early. Can't connect with anyone. Korok wrapped up. There is the Chaos Knight going to work, but no Brax. He's the one now getting brought down. There's a very late grip, and that is going to keep the fight under control for the moment. Reality Rift back. That's going to kill Korok. Down goes the Night Path. Is this enough to cover their retreat? Vegas is still available for Ush if he wants to re-engage her, but needs to be careful. There's the blink away by way too sexy. It looks like Ush has aborted this mission. He's running out through the bottom wood. Snake King is going to go down yet again. Korok also falling in this fight, and 2 for 0 for the NYX Assassins. And when these big fights happen, they just don't seem to be able to deal with the Bat Rider. They don't seem to be able to deal with the Fiend's Grip. You know, those two abilities are just carving apart room in these fights.
Yeah, I don't think they should have actually engaged that. The AA ult was off target at the start of that fight. Lycan was ulting from the side trying to flank, but they had already retreated, and then they just sort of dived. But after Lycan had ulted, there was no one was in range to blink and then provide disable so that he could just start mowing down people. And since the AA ult had already missed, I think they would have been better served to just back off after the AA ult missed, even if they were gonna waste the Lycan ult. It's not too long of a cooldown. It is on a 60-second cooldown with the...
Osh might be going to be using Angus here involuntarily. He gets
Yeah,
pulled
he's
back
good.
underneath the tower, and down he's going to go. Does have the
He might die
BKB as well as the
second time.
shapeshift available. Can he get it off, or is he going to get stuck? He's going to try, but there is not. Oh, there's no Fiend Script available for 13 seconds. There's the sight that actually does stop him in place, does not take any damage from it. So there's like, oh no, fuck. He goes for it, gets caught out by Brax. No, he's still alive, running back through the fight. Whitebeard just going down here, getting carved apart by Ush. Now Ush trying to just find a target to hit. Necro lifts himself up in the air with the Yules, but he's going to go down here. Fog with the nice ult. He catches onto a few Brax. He's going to go down. Snaking, still alive, just barely still falls in the end, but everyone is dead from the NYX Assassins. What a great turnaround there. Fog staying alive, being able to get that ulti off at the end of the fight, and Ush just with so much damage in that fight.
They overcommitted a bit onto Ush, considering he had the Aegis. I think killing him once was fine, but after you've already committed the lasso, you need to just back off at that point, because he BKB'd, he ulted, and then they even tried to use the Reaper Scythe to get enough disable to where his BKB would cool down and they'd be able to disable him, but...
Looks like they're going to charge into the base. Korok's move forward here. There's the Yules up in the air. Ush is in a little bit of a precarious spot there. He is all right. Now Korok getting pulled back, and it seems like he just keeps dying to this Chaos Knight. Going to try to get an impale off. Does get it off. Way2's going to die with 10 seconds left on his ulti, and now it's Navi US who are committing into the base.
Yeah.
Ush lives, though. He's just going to continue pushing out these lanes.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's a mistake that a lot of teams make, where they, after they kill the person with the Aegis, they think, well, we might be able to get more. They get a little bit greedy and then just overcommit, and they end up paying the price there for sneaky NYX Assassins. But at the same time, Navi US sort of returned the favor a little bit, committing on the base. They do get decent damage on the tower, so not too bad for them.
Yeah, but when you do things like that without a level 3 Necro book, then it's much harder for that tower to actually go down. If there's a level 3 Necro book in that fight, almost guaranteed that tower probably does go down, but
they do kill it so fast if they're able to just right click it though with the liquid fire. And I mean, Lycan still does a lot of damage with this hero. It's just not as safe without the Necro book.
Yeah, you can't just
for sieging.
Send in the clowns and sit back. But new ward, I love this new ward. I don't really care about wards very much, but this new one with the little bat owl thing hanging. This one, it's so
where
good.
is it? Okay.
Yeah. Big fan of that ward. Just have to point that one out. And
I need that word in my life.
it's so good. If you guys, oh boy.
What's going on?
My Dota server's crashing.
Oh no.
Rip. I thought it was.
Please tell me we're not gonna have a reload. Oh god.
Well, there should be one at 33 minutes, and nothing really has happened since then. Or maybe 33:15.
I just hate loads because they
loads
never
are
work right.
Yeah, loads are never a good situation, and well, it looks like we are gonna have to. We'll attempt to reconnect here, but
it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. Yeah. Experience says it is not going to work.
I think there's only been one game where I've disconnected like that, and I was able to reconnect. Oh look, I was able to reconnect actually.
Oh, the game was not paused though. That's a bit awkward.
Isn't it supposed to automatically pause?
It's supposed to auto pause, but it did not.
Players are complaining a little bit.
It looks like most people have not. It looks like it was paused maybe, because most people are in pretty much the right spot. And it looks like a small miracle.
I lost 40 seconds.
Jesus. Yeah, it looks like we are good to go. Well, it looks like the game did not pause. So now we're at 34 minutes, and it was just 33:28. So, Volvo, please fix the game.
I think it was because the server had a hiccup or something, so it made everyone disconnect, and then it didn't pause for some reason. I'm gonna pretend that I know what I'm talking about.
Fake it till you make it. No problem, man.
But I actually have no idea. So anyways, it looks like Navi US, after that last team fight, maybe feeling a bit confident. It looks like they might try to push in this... Oh no. Please.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Fuck.
Game is broke. And,
This is actually a problem. I think we just
yeah,
need,
we
to
need to remake.
reload.
Let's, we'll communicate with the admins, and we cannot really risk this going on, even if everyone's able to reconnect again, because if this happens, if it happens in the middle of the team fight, we'll have some issues.
Alright. I'll reconnect and then...
I was able to reconnect. I don't know. We'll see. Choices.
They should
here.
probably just ask the players if they want to reload, because I know... I don't know. I think they should just remake, though, because if it happens during a team fight, it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
We got no reconnect button on Brex.
All right. Well, that makes that pretty easy.
Console? Hey, you type this here. I'll do it.
I'm going to go ahead and not show the IP address of the server. And back to the standings here, but
Right,
oh,
he's able to
Braxton's
do it.
back in.
Right. Oh, I just showed the whatever. It doesn't
It's
matter
okay,
if you're not in the game. It just you can't connect anyways.
Oh boy. Oh god. All right, well, moving along here. Jesus Christ. Apparently, Steam itself is.
I
Being
could
weird.
have just PM'd it to Rex too. Oh well.
Well, live and learn. I didn't show it on my stream, so that's not on me.
Well, you did.
No,
I
covered it.
typed
No,
it.
I covered it up, man. I switched overlays.
Oh, you
I
covered
believed
it up.
That you were gonna do
Alright.
that.
So it's fine. Okay. So only Dota TV people got it.
And the other 4 streams.
Okay. Well. Oh well.
Oh well, we did our best. And I guess we're just gonna play on this server here.
Please don't DDoS the server, guys.
Jesus.
Oh god.
Oh god. This is the world we live in. This is the world we live in right now. Shivas is gonna be the choice for TC. And yeah, way to transition into semi-carry has Maelstrom. Maybe he goes for the BKB next with this Ogre Club, and we'll see if Navi US trying to make some moves here. Alfred is finished up with Chaos Knight. He really does not have that much farm, to be honest. He's died a lot.
Yeah. I mean, he dies pretty much every team fight. So. And Heaven's Halberd.
I guess it's only against Ush, but he has BKB, so...
Well, I mean, his BKB is at 6 seconds. So if they're able to kite him around during the BKB, or maybe use a lasso or a Fiend's Grip that is able to maybe take a couple seconds off the BKB, then I could see it being quite a solid item pickup. He does pick up the Abyssal Blade, so...
This
Ush is just so farmed right now.
This exemplifies Snake King's game. It's just four-stabs himself onto the cliff. It's just perfect. And Ush is going to be able to pick up the Roche kill here. Abyssal Blade is finished up. There's the Aegis for himself. And Midas on that courier. And he is extremely farmed, like you mentioned, and now has an Aegis for himself as well. So Ush going to work. 280 CS. 22,000 net worth, and taking a look at the net worth overall, fairly even game. Navi US leading just a little bit.
Yep. And most of that gold is onto the Lycan, and I think... I think this BKB on Fluff and stuff that he just picked up is actually quite important in these fights.
Yeah,
they have nothing
to
to cancel. Yeah. If he's able to BKB and ult the Lycan, I feel like these fights...
Not good if you're the Lycan.
Yeah.
BKB.
He does have the Aegis right now, but I think he should just wait until the BKB comes out from Ush so that he can pretty much negate the effect of the BKB, and then they can use Halberd and then just sort of kite him around.
We'll see if it works here. And Ush does have the Abyssal now too. I mean, I guess if he's not the one getting Fiend's Grip, they have the Abyssal, but it seems pretty unlikely he's not the one getting Fiend's Grip now. There's the engagement. Way too going to eat a stun here. The ulti does miss from the AA thanks to a nice force staff, but they're just going to rotate, I think, now towards the mid lane, go to work with the liquid fire, go to work with Ush and all of his summons, and well, they're actually a little afraid they're going to back off.
Ush did use the ult, so they're probably going to wait for that to be back up, so maybe just farm the jungle first, push out the bottom lane, let Way2 get a bit more farm. He's almost up to his own BKB on top of his Maelstrom, Blink Dagger, and Treads. And he's farming pretty decently, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, he does have the BKB if he wants to pick it up.
Good farm.
Oh, it looks like he's actually going to go for a Mjolnir first.
Yeah, does pick that up. Interesting choice. I mean, I guess you can put that on Ush and just run through, and then if they try to burst them down, they take a fair amount of damage from that, so I don't understand that. Ush
Yeah,
is
and it is
continuing farm.
quite good against the illusion hero of CK, so...
Is one way for them to help take down those illusions, which they're, like we talked about,
Actually,
clear.
there's a lot of things that proc it on the side of Sneaky NYX Assassins. There's the Ignite that will proc Mjolnir, there's the Firefly. It's actually, anytime you're against these AoE spells that do damage over time, it's
There's
quite
a
effective.
huge smoke coming in, though, from the Sneaky NYX Assassins. They're going to run right into Snake King. He's going to try to get himself away. Yule's this on. Now going to be stuck next to Brax. We'll see if they're able to go to work here. Ice Path is going to go down, but BKB used. Ush, though, going to try to find a target in this fight. Abyssal on Mike. There's the feed script. Ush locked down. Does have the Aegis and the BKB available, though. Fluff and stuff getting right-click down. No, they're not able to bring down Ush during it. There's the sight, but nothing happens as he does have that BKB on. Brax going to go down now. This fight's a complete disaster for the Sneaky NYX Assassins. TC is just barely going to make it out, but they have no buybacks. They're going to lose the racks here.
Really unfortunate that they weren't actually able to get a kill right when the smoke popped onto Snake King. He was able to force death away, and then Dual dodge the CK stun, and I think that could actually just be... I mean, it's going to be at least 2 set of racks, I think.
This is a pretty hard thing to come back from now. With the Aegis still up, that's going to be around for a little bit still. So they're just going to stay in the base. They're going to get 2 sides of Braxis here. And that is a huge advantage for Navi US. I'm not sure that there's... I mean, there is a way that NYX Assassins can get back into this one. They do have the Necro to turn off buyback if they, mega late. But this looks really hard. Whitebeard TPing out. Caught by Nice Path. There's 1 extra racks down. Ush. He's going to get brought back, but does still have the Aegis as well as the BKB. His feed script up, no 24 seconds.
They might be able to kill him here.
There, he's going to turn on the shapeshift. Whitebeard going to take a lot of damage here. He goes down. Now Fluff and Stuff, the one who is at risk, but does not have the feed script, and they're just going to kill 2 more. And I think that might just be game.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Could be.
Oh, boy.
Oh, they weren't even able to kill.
Oh, they finally get him. There's double BKB. This is their opportunity with Brax back up, and looks like Borak is going to go down here, but buildings are dying for the NYX Assassins. They do still have 1 remaining Rax.
Borak's not even going to die here.
Oh, it has 11 HP. Someone just needs to go kill that.
Oh no, he has the Yule Scepter.
Oh, what a Spike Carapace. Oh, he's still going to go down. Buys back, and someone come kill this Rax. 11 HP. Someone just come tap it.
That's a buyback.
Just poke it. Quark does buyback.
For me.
3-9-11, but it feels like his contribution to this game has been much better than that, honestly. I mean, he set up a lot of really, really great kills with the Blink, with the Impale, and the Vendetta, of course, as well. So, book for Fox.
I think all of Navi US had a real tough time in the mid game when, like, Sneaky NYX Assassins had all these stuns, the CK illusions. They just had so much disable, and then the damage from the Reaper Scythe. But they were able to weather the storm, and Lycan's honestly just too big for them to deal with.
He has an MKB now. He has so much damage. It seems like Ush is just gonna go crazy in these fights. They don't have enough to deal with it.
Yeah, I think if CK had more items, Sneaky NYX Assassins could take this late, but they're just not farmed enough.
Yeah.
And that's honestly the problem with CK.
He can't farm at all.
He can't farm. Like, this hero has no mechanism to farm. Like, he can't really farm safely because he doesn't have an escape. He can't... He farms really slow because he has no wave clear.
They're either going to go on Ush here. They're going to catch him. Are they going to be able to bring him down? Brax is going to use an ability on him. He gets pushed off. He's speed script. He's going to go down. Plus his stuff. Use it like you mentioned way too. He is going to go down as well. But reincarnating back up Brax. He's going to get stuck in the middle of the fight. Looks like he's not going to make it out of this one. But they do get way too on the way out. Mike, though, looking like he might go down as well. There's the ice bath stuck in place. They right click him down. Snake King gets to Ush. Is back in the fight. He just fought back. Eats it 3 times multicast. And that is extremely annoying. But Yule's up in the air. Whitebeard, even with this axe, even with the tankiness, he's going to go down. 3 died. 2 do have buyback, though, but there's one. This Chaos Knight doesn't have ulti, though, so there's only so much he does here.
They do have the Reaper Scythe, so maybe if they're able to find a kill on Ush, he doesn't currently have buyback. Wait.
Ush bought back just before this last one.
That's something I didn't even consider. Why didn't... They didn't Reaper Scythe Ush. He was able to buy back.
For Snake King, he's going to go down. He's not going to be buying back. And did have the gold for it, so...
I want to see the replay of what happened there, because I know that they clearly had the damage to kill him without Reaper Scythe, but I think you just Reaper Scythe, it's not even about the damage. Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, not only wouldn't he be able to buy back, but he has a 30-second additional timer. He is level 25, so his buyback would be... So he wouldn't come back into the game for 130 seconds, right?
A while. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And honestly, that's the type of window
they're gonna initiate, though.
Snar needs to win this
Razor,
game.
or TC rather, he cannot die. Him having a Razor in his name is really killing me. And, Ush going to work, though. He's gonna kill Brax. No way Brax is making it out of this one. Does get a stun off before dying. Does that give a Navi US a window of opportunity to close this game out? It might.
Maybe. I think it depends on the multicast. Lycan currently doesn't have BKB right now, so if they get some good multicasts and they are able to chain it with a Reaper Scythe, maybe they can hold on to the game a bit longer. They also have the Flaming Lasso available, so I don't expect the game to end quite yet.
Yeah,
I think at most they get the tier 3 tower.
I mean, there is an Ags for Fog, so if he catches a bunch with the ulti, then that could be
I mean, I think the main issue right here is that Ush doesn't have buyback. Although it's not actually that important just because...
I was going to assume he gets Scythe. Now he's going to get pushed to the base. There's the B script as well. Ush going to go down. He gets Scythe this time, but does not have buyback like you mentioned. Way too has gone to work in the middle of the fight, just chopping away. He has so much damage from getting crossed with the Mjolnir as well. Finally,
how long is he even dead for?
Yeah.
Wait.
Ush is deleted.
No.
He's dead for
dead
135
like,
seconds.
No, it's more than that because okay, it must have been like 150 seconds because he had additional time from his previous buyback.
Yeah. He was just dead forever. Is there a max respawn timer?
No.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Jesus. Well, maybe this. I mean, there is an opportunity with this new Scythe interaction that they can kill Ush and they just YOLO push and win.
Yeah, I mean that is pretty much the only way that they win in this game because Brax isn't farming any new items. This is probably as big as a CK is ever gonna get. I mean, it's just so hard to farm on the Zero at this point in the game.
Yeah, you can't really push out lanes because you have no blink. You can't really push them out fast because you're a CK.
You have no AoE.
Yeah. So, Shiva's guard for TC is finished up. He bought back in the last fight. No, they're gonna try to push down middle. Ush is still dead for 75 seconds. If he gets up, dies again to that site, game might be over. Navi US need to tread very lightly here. This looked like a sure win for them.
He's still dead for 60 seconds. Oh, and he's still dead for a minute. Actually, if they are able to get another Reaper Scythe kill right now, that could actually be pretty significant.
Well, Brax, he's going to use that Phantasm, and there goes Korok moving forward. Ice Bath catches them all. Ulti's going to come in. Nice chain. They're going to try to bring down Brax Illusions. Way too's here. He's going to get Beast Gripped up. Does have the reincarnation, so that's going to keep him alive for the moment. Brax caught. There's Ike's Mike moving forward, and they're not able to kill the Rax yet. Bog looks like he is going to go down. Reaper Sight is available through it all. 500 man. He has plenty of at 2,000. Brax still just barely alive, 200 HP, still going to work. Ush is going to be back up here in 18 seconds. Brax so close to dying. Looks like he is going to be alive here. And they're slowly going to work on this Rax, and they still have the Reaper's Sight, but they
need to be really careful that they don't just get wiped by this Lycan when he comes back.
Or they're going to use the Reaper Scythe on the way to. He's dead for 110 seconds, but now that opens the window for Ush to come back into the fight. Yule's up for Fluff and Stuff. Shape
I think they might only lose Fluff and Stuff here.
Wow, they all escape.
Yeah, only going to lose Fluff. Pretty big for them. They do lose the gem, but probably not the biggest of deals. And I think this is going to be... Do they push off this? The NYX Assassin and AA are dead. I don't think they're going to push. Yeah, it looks like Ush is going to rush in the definitely smart play. Without Aegis, this Necro hero is actually just absolutely ridiculous. But with the Aegis, not so terrifying because they're going to have to be able to kill Ush once without the Reaper Scythe and then save the Reaper Scythe and then use it again. And honestly, not as big of a deal when you have the Aegis. It's just, I don't think... That might actually just be the game. Sneaky NYX Assassins maybe had a chance, but...
I mean, they didn't get any
Raxes. With the Aegis, it's actually...
They didn't get any Raxes from that mid push, and F4L being the popular guy he is. Don't bring it off the hook.
That's me.
And Navi West gonna group up, try to defend from, looks like this last push from NYX Assassins. I think they're of the impression we're just gonna push forward, try to sight someone in their base, make it so they can't buy back, end the game. But like you mentioned, they're gonna have to kill Ush twice, and 20 seconds here for way to come back up.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna
I just don't see it. Because they have such a struggle killing him once, and usually they have to use everything to kill him. Like in the last engagement, they lassoed him, and then they gripped him, and then they Reaper Scythed him.
Yep. And all the meanwhile, they do have to pay attention to these side lanes, which are slowly pushing in.
IX Mike is working on the Heaven's Halberd, so...
Brax buys a Reaver, and that's going to turn off his buyback in the next fight.
Yeah, I don't think they're too concerned with that, but if they get 2 Heaven's Halberds, they'll have 9 seconds of disarm. They are going to lasso Ush.
There's multicast. He's going to go down. They're actually going to take
Wow, they're going to kill him.
Those multicasts. Double Fire Blast. Very
Oh
good.
man,
Ush,
this could actually...
We'll see if he can get out. I think he just wants to get away from this fight. But now he's being stripped. Is the Reaper's Sight available? Yes, it is. He's going to go down. Looks like he did go down to it in the end. And now, way too. He goes down. Reincarnation back up. Ush dead for 120 seconds. 2 minutes here of death. And these multicasts are just going crazy. But they might even just get megas despite the fact that Ush is dead.
They do have the glyph available.
They use everything to kill Ush, and they pay for it. Korok gets a triple kill. Snaking forward,
no buyback on Necrophos. That might actually just be the game.
Yeah, I think they might have just lost. It's over now. But it looked like a promising fight. They were able to kill Ush very quickly, but the rest of the team now with so much damage. Korok with an ultra kill. What a game from Navi US. I think they played this one fairly well. It was a little scary there for a bit, but in the end.
I actually think Sneaky NYX Assassins, had they played these early fights a bit better with the like playing around the Reaper side, they might have had a better chance to win the game. Just because I think if they weren't down 4 racks at that point, that Navi US might have a really hard time winning this game just because of the power of the Necro in the late game. And I mean, what else can you say? The dire side, the Lycan advantage, getting all those Aegises, and they were finally able to close out the game with probably, I would say, just basically off the back of having dire Lycan, just because they were able to get the last Aegis and the cheese. And even though Lycan died twice, they had to use everything to kill him, and it just wasn't enough because the rest of the heroes were able to just finish off the game.
Yep. Don't go anywhere, guys. DotaPit season number 2. NYX Assassins versus Navi US. Game number 1 in the books. Victory for Navi US. I am What Is Hip. With me, F4L and Motpax from the Standard Deviants on stats. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in just a couple minutes, and Also, shout out to our sponsors, Sapphire, AMD, Twitch, Tesoro, and Sennheiser. See you guys in a few.